And I appreciate the panel testifying and appreciate your courage. I want to ask about the alternatives to medication, and I want to ask the entire panel, which alternatives do you believe the VA could consider in addressing the mental health issue? I realize that you have to have some medication in most cases prescribed, but I'm familiar with the recreational therapy. The chairman and myself participated in a field hearing not too long ago on recreational therapy, the equine therapy. In my district, we have a Quantum Leap Farms. I know they're all over. They travel from all over the country to go to Quantum Leaps. The service dogs do wonders, I understand, from talking to veterans, just to name a few. But can you maybe elaborate a little bit, whoever would like to, with regard to the alternatives to the medication for mental health therapy, PTSD, TBI, what have you? Please, thank you.
Yes, Brian had a brother that came back, and he had PTSD, and he had a friend that was doing some gardening, so he started just working in gardening with him. Pretty soon they realized they really liked it, and their garden was pretty good, so they decided to make it bigger. Then they thought, well, let's take these vegetables and take it to market and see if we can sell them. And so now they have this huge area, and they do this. I've also heard of veterans going on farms because there's not of loud noises and flashing lights and the sound issues that they have with PTSD. So those are two others.
Thank you. Anyone else, please?
We could just put together an extensive list of what veterans use to cope with these things outside of medications, motorcycle riding, bike riding, equine therapy, service animals. I mean, it just, the list could go on, and that's, I'd rather stress the importance of the fact that there's no one solution, and until the VA can get to implementing best practices system-wide and tailor-fitting to each individual veteran's needs and using these known best practices that exist out there, until they can do that, we're not going to be able to fix anything. I mean, we could put policy in place saying that you have to provide access to these individual treatments that exist, but it's the implementation of that policy that's the major issue here. And yeah, I mean, the list is extensive.
Thank you very much. Definitely, one size does not fit all. Anyone else?
I'd like to weigh in on that. We hear a lot of the excuses that we heard at Phoenix was it has to be evidence-based treatment. And how do you get innovative therapy if everything has to be evidence-based before they'll use it? I think they need to open up their minds a little bit and think outside the box. As you've heard, not every therapy works for every person. Right. Everything has to be individualized. And, I've heard of gardening before too, as being very therapeutic for people. I think it's just, they need to get out of the mentality is that this is all we can do. We have these blinders on.
Thank you very much. The bottom line is we need to listen to the vets, just like you said. Anyone else, please?
I think it's again, to use the word holistic, it's a community, it's a lifestyle sort of approach. I mean, the VA needs to do what the VA needs to do the best way the VA can do it, but the VA can't do everything. So there's a lot of, Clay kind of put together his own kind of therapy program. He got involved in service. That was helping him. He got involved with IAVA, Storming the Hill and their community. He got involved with Team Rubicon doing disaster relief programs. He got involved with Ride to Recovery, riding bikes, and that was great for him to be able to heal, but it was also great for him to be there to help his brothers and sisters heal. The problem, for whatever reason, when a person decides to take their life, they've given up hope. So what do you do about that? And Clay could do everything. He could go on these, missions, and he could do 1-week bike rides. But what got him was being alone in his apartment by himself, hopeless. And there's questions and matters of faith there, but it is a community approach. People need to come to government and volunteer organizations partner. No one organization, not even the government, can do it all. And everybody needs to realize that and come together and take care of these folks.
Thank you so very much. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.